go.
It's the fellowship and the friendships you build, you know.
You can tell the difference real quick.
Yeah, so, you know, I can appreciate what people do,
Yeah.
you know, to help House in the Woods. Because we love helping how we can in my family.
Yeah.
So, you know, the
Well,
golf
you guys
tournament-
do a lot for us.
Yeah.
You mean a lot. You're like family to us too. I mean,
We
to be able to come here in your home and just hang out like you would family.
You know, I told you, I can put you up in a hotel. You can stay at my house with me. You know, you know, I would rather have you here, and it's not a financial thing. I hope they don't go to a hotel. I can't sit and talk to you like this in a
No,
hotel.
it's
You
not
know?
the same.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Now I'm ready to go do some talking over some corn piles and some
Oh yeah,
lights.
you got that right. That was a blast last night. That's a memory of a lifetime. That
Coming in, what do we do? And I dropped the bag of corn.
right.
The chair goes down, and the pigs are coming to the corn, man. The power of that yellow substance, man.
Oh, it's like a bear coming to eat trail mix.
Yeah.
They come anyway.
The differences that you've developed in your trail mix from when we first started. When we first started hunting with you guys, it was 55-gallon drums pressing pastries down to a disc to try to make it hard, and it was gone like this. And now you've got this new trail mix that you've developed and you design and you make.
I didn't design it, but companies make it. It's stuff like you buy in the store.
Yeah.
The M&Ms, peanuts, raisins. You just we get 55. We get big totes of it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mix it with honey or molasses?
I buy 2 55-gallon drums of honey if I can get it, and I put it on a rock or a log under the bait, and we hang the bait in a bag on a wire.
Okay.
So they come in and lick the honey, and then they'll swipe the bag and the nuts and the raisins and
now they're foraging.
Peanuts. So it's better that way, because like donuts and stuff, they can take a big chunk and run off with it. With nuts, they'll be there a long time. You know, they're not gonna, because when they open the bag, it just goes all over the place.
You know, and you don't, if you've never hunted bears, you don't understand how big some bears are.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I look at this bearskin rope, you know, that I took with you guys, I'm like, hey, that's a nice bear for me. And that's probably the average bear that's taken.
150 pounds is about average, I mean, live weight. But we have some big ones.
You have some big ones, because we were sitting in those chairs in that blind with you, and we were telling Angie the story yesterday. My dad and I are sitting, you know, you're in this bag chair, you're this high off the ground, you're sitting like this.
Camp chair.
And the bear walked by me, and his back was as high as his elk's eyes.
It was a big bear.
I was like, oh my goodness, man. If he just turns and decides he wants lunch, I'm lunching Dad's dessert. You know, all I have is a 45 and thick skulls. You know, you hear about grizzly bears and their thick skulls. And I mean, this is not a light skull.
No.
When you feel the weight of these things, I mean, you got 3 pounds in skull.
Yeah.
And on a big bear,
that's the hogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, so that was so exciting.
Yeah. That was a unique. I heard the shot because I was back a ways with the machine, and I said yes. And then you texted me.
Big bear down.
Big bear down.
I think I said cock it down.
Probably, yeah.
So Mom's bear, you know, so Dad didn't get that one because he actually pulled. He was shaking so bad he was zoomed in. That bear was so wide. I mean, the leg on the bear, and he thought he was in the chest already, but he was only still in the leg.
If he'd had it turned down.
Yeah, had he turned it down, he would have seen the bear and be able to say, okay. But had he waited for the bear to stand up, he said, well, he was looking at me. I thought he saw us. I'm like, I told you, if he sits, he's comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, if he sees you and doesn't want, he's gone. He's not going to hang around. Like so Mom's bear. So can you fill me in on the story with her?
I didn't take her in as a guide, but I think she shot it actually fairly early. It was like 4 or 5 o'clock.
Yeah, the pictures are in daylight.
Oh yeah, she shot it early.
Yeah.
I remember getting a call because I was over by the lodge, and they said, "Yep, Sherry's got a bear, your mom." So it was a fairly new bait that I put in. There's an old logging road that goes in, and then I cut a trail to the right after you get in there, probably 200 or 300 feet. Just a little narrow trail that goes in, and it looks down into a cedar swamp, just a gradual slope. And she's got the trees that I had was just 2 hemlock trees that big around, probably that much of a window to look through. And she's just sitting there like this. Their smell is like a hog in the hearing.
Yeah.
These bear will come in and they'll circle a lot of times if they know, whether you're in a tree stand or ground blind, they'll circle behind you and just wait and listen. And they know you're there. they just want to see, is there anything different? Are they going to move? You may have something in your pocket. They hear that, forget it. They just
Yeah.
get comfortable.
Having a good guide makes that hunt amazing. So when we send guys up to you, you give them the briefs.
Yeah.
Look here, we take,
We can't promise
so
a bear.
on this end of the world we call it anise.
Yeah.
We go to that end and we call it anise. You go to the west coast, they say, you
Call
got
it
some of that
anise.
anise oil. I'm like, no, it's anise or anise. It's not anise oil. But we tell them, hey, we're going to spray this stuff down. We need to put some on you because that's the smell.
Yeah.
We do a religious
Yeah.
style thing.
Yeah.
We come in, we spray down, we
Yeah.
walk in, we put up the bait, we spray, we leave, we do the same thing
Yeah.
over. The bears are used to
That's
that.
right.
When you're genuine and people know your heart
Yeah.
and they know what you are, somebody comes
Makes a
in,
big
they're like, hey, red flag, Ron or Paul, this is happening and this is not normal for what you guys do.
Yeah.
And they become guards for us.
And that's,
look out.
Yeah. That happens. Sad to say, it does happen. It's
People take
happened to you.
advantage.
It's happened to us.
Yeah, several
And
times
you
reach out.
always have to be on the lookout for that kind of
Yeah.
people that want to come in and throw negative comments out.
Yeah.
Anyway, the networking's good, and
Let me tell you that when we talk, everybody always talks about when we come to House in the Woods. Lobster Fest! Lobster Fest!
oh, that's one thing we can give them that's positive.
Yeah, let me tell you. So if you've never been on one of the things with us over with Paul House and House in the Woods is Sunday. So come in on a Saturday, we get acclimated.
Right.
Here's the ground rules, what we're
Yeah.
doing. Sunday we crank up with a Lobster Fest. I think at 10 o'clock we're starting to cook and get
Yeah.
things together. And
Yeah,
200 lobsters is a lot of.
yeah. It's a lot of lobster.
Yeah, and when you're done, what's left now we have a lobster crack.
Yeah,
We're gonna start
Yeah.
breaking them open and getting the meat out. But we started
yeah.
at
George's we had. that
we
too.
did it at George's house, but when we got to
Jessica's.
Jessica's house, we started kissing the lobster. You
Oh,
had to
yeah.
kiss your lobster.
Yeah,
So like everybody had to kiss
Yeah.
you pick your lobster, you
yeah.
kiss him and put him in the pot, and everybody thought it was so funny. You gotta kiss my lobster,
Yeah.
and everybody did. We
Yeah.
got their pictures, kiss them first.
Yeah.
Mwah, see
We
you,
got a
baby.
bunch of
I'm gonna-
pictures of those.
Yeah, but to sit down, the fellowship, because in Maine, that's as fresh as you're gonna get.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
They just caught them the
They-
day before.
They caught them the day before.
Yeah.
They put them in the coolers. They brought
Yeah.
them to us,
Yeah,
and
Drop 'em in the
and
pot.
they were. You get those down south. You got to catch them. You got to process them. You got to do this. You got to get them there, and you're waiting.
Right.
And man, it's
nothing like
there's
fresh.
a total different flavor.
Yeah,
But the experience of sitting around a table, saying grace,
yeah,
giving thanks to our Creator who gave us abilities and things that we have, and then enjoy a meal of. I ate 6 lobsters, and there's still more to go.
yeah,
And you think, oh, I could eat lobster all day long. You hit number 6, you're in the wall, buddy. Because you're thinking a 2-pound lobster.
Yeah.
Because these aren't baby. These aren't.
Well, they're
like,
probably pound and a quarter.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
And,
lot.
and fresh, 10 dozen ears of corn that we
Yeah.
have brought up fresh.
Yeah.
Just picked the day before. But it is, that's funny you brought that up. That is a good icebreaker. We're finding that just like guys who've never had lobster, you show them how to crack a lobster. It's just that fellowship that it's something about it, they loosen up. So just having that simple little lobster feed, I say simple, and the guy I talked to, he'd give us a break, the ladies connection group. They were expensive, but he said, I'll sell them at my cost. He said, no, don't worry. He said, I'm going to have 200 lobster for you again this year for the bear hunt.
Wow.
And then there's another organization, a group, or business that's going to give us 200. So there's two different businesses that do that every year, and they donate. So, and this farmer, same thing. He donates a great big bag of carrots and then 10 dozen ears of corn, and a guy brings it up that I know, and onions, and so that's pretty special.
Yeah.
I know as a farmer, they could use that money, like a lobsterman or whatever. It's out of the goodness of the heart and the hard work that they share. We couldn't do like you couldn't. We couldn't do what we do for vets without help.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah. You would go broke quick,
Real fast.
real fast.
Something, and I call them miracles because it's probably 3-4 years ago. It happened 2 years in a row. We were down to like $2,500 in our account. Keep in mind, we got 80 by 90 building, over 14,000 square feet of space. You got heat bills, light bills. You got over $17,000 in insurance a year, plus gas when we're baiting bear and breakdowns and leases on land and bait and all that stuff. Where we were 4 days from losing our insurance. 4 days, because the company said, "Hey, you got 4 days, or we're going to cancel all your insurance, everything. The insurance on the veterans, insurance on the board, insurance on the building, insurance on the machines, the pickup, the trailer, everything. No more insurance." So when that happens, it'd be difficult to get another company to take you on as an insurance policy. So a guy calls me up and says, "I usually give this money in May." It was a guides course. And he says, "Do you mind if I send it early?" I said, "No, I don't mind." I didn't tell him anything.
Yeah.
We get a check for like $11,000. Our insurance for the down payment is like $4,600 in December, and then it's like $2,700 a month till we get that $17,000 paid off. Another guy, we don't know. It's from New Hampshire, a foundation. We get a check, $15,000. We had no idea who it was. It was just a foundation, and somebody signed it. $15,000 within 2 weeks. Another guy, just for Christmas, who we knew, an attorney in Lincoln, he stopped at the house. I was at the lodge, and he dropped the check off. He wanted to come up and see me. So he dropped the check off. Dee calls me up and says, "This guy just gave us a check for $10,000. This happened within 3 weeks. The first check, we made our down payment, right? That saved our insurance. Not only did we get enough money for that, but we got enough money to finish paying our construction, all these little places that we owe for thousands of dollars. We got to tie up those loose ends. That happened 2 years in a row. That wasn't as much the second year, but we were close to losing our insurance. And God provided the money. And I just told Dee, I said, "We've done all we can. We can't do any more. We work hard. We do, every day, just trying to find money, working." And I said, "That's it." I says, "Nothing we can do. If we lose the building, we lose it." And that's what I said. And God provided.
And
So-
that's the critical thing, and you and I realize that
Yeah.
is to give God the credit and the
Yeah.
glory for what He does and how He takes care of us.
Yeah.
It's out of our control.
Oh, definitely.
It is. We can fight all we want. If that's not the door God has open, we're not going to go through it. But sometimes we get put in those situations, and this is, if you don't understand faith, that we, like Paul and I talk about faith, please call us and let us share the gospel of Jesus Christ with you, understand God's love for you
Exactly.
and how He take care of you. But I think God uses that to teach us, rely on me. Because we as humans say, "Oh, look what I did, look what I've accomplished." Look at Solomon and all his splendor, and he faltered from God. He said, "Hey, no more."
Yeah.
When we rely on Him and say, whatever happens, happens. God is in control. He brings the right people into your lives who have the funding and the resource to be able to say, "Here's how I'm taking care of you. You didn't even expect this to come, and here it is. I'm laying it in your lap for you. I'm taking care of you."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Wow, I thought we were at the end." And God opens this door for you with financial sponsors who could say, "Hey, I know you have a need. We don't want to do this, but for some reason I want to do it this way."
Yeah.
My dad has stories when we were little. My dad said, I was sitting in the room and, he was in construction. He had money at the time. And he had a brand new Mercury Cougar. He bought it new, and this was in the 70s. So I think it was a 71 Cougar. And they had it for a couple of years, and it was like 2 or 3 years old. I was probably 4. And he went and she said, "Sherry, come into my office." And my mom, she came in there, and he was like, "God told me I need to give this car away." She said, "What?" "God told me I need to give this car away, and this is the guy I'm supposed to give it to."
Oh.
and he said it had the guy's name. So Dad and Mom sat down. They prayed about him. He took and he signed the title over to this guy. While they're in the office, somebody comes into the office, knocks on the door, and they come on in. It was that guy.
No.
And Daddy had to talk to him. He said, "Mr. Ron, this is gonna sound crazy, but I had to come to you." He said, "God told me I was supposed to come in here and tell you that you're supposed to give me this car, your Cougar."
Well,
And Mom and Dad looked at it and just started crying. And Daddy handed him the title. It was already filled out in that guy's name. He said, "God told me I was supposed to give you this car, and I've already got the title filled out in your name." And people say, "Oh, you're full of junk," whatever. But, you can testify that God will take care of you
Yeah.
in your time of need.
Exactly.
And he does these things to teach us to rely on him instead of relying on ourselves, because we get self-centered as humans. Going, "I did this. I started a house in the woods. I started hunting with a hero. I made all this money, and I built this, and I built that," and it can be gone
in a heartbeat.
in an instant. Because we've seen the people that Satan brings
Yeah.
in to try to take
Yeah.
These things away and try to damage your credibility or what else.
Yeah.
But when we rely on him, it's amazing to see him work and what he's given you to be a steward of. And that's why I think we are really we're stewards of God's children in what we do.
Yeah. I feel too like a messenger. Maybe it's the same same thing, and that's just sharing what God put on our hearts to do, and that's to give.
Because what you do has changed him, and it's what you do, how we change people for the better.
And the thing is, anybody could do that if they listen to God, if He lays it on their heart. It may not be what we do; it could be something else to give back. But if you listen to God's calling, that's the key, is and enact upon it. And God calls people, I think, all the time. Whether we respond is our choice. God gives us a free choice.
How many times would you think that you thought in your head, "There's no way God would use that person"?
Oh, God.
Me included. There's no way God would use me.
I have a high school education, right? And people come out, and again, it's not about me.
Yeah.
Look what you've done. And I say, this is God's work. I said, I feel like I'm a messenger. I says, this is why we have a building. This is why we have what we have. It's not what I've done. I listen to God, and He tells me what to do. And that's all. I'm a messenger. That's it. And God sends us good people to help. And that's the message. It's not me. He used David and Goliath. Look what happened.
Yep.
He used Zacchaeus, the smallest stature of people, and the least likely, like you said.
Matthew, a tax collector.
Yeah. Yeah. People that, no, there's no way.
Peter, a fisherman.
I'm not a business person.
Yeah.
Never was. I'm still not a business person. But God puts people in our lives to help us, like Angie.
Yep.
Different people that are able to help us and make it happen. Cooks. We have a cook now that runs her own bagel shop in Bangor. She saw me on TV. I need to find out more about this. She calls me up and says, "Do you need help in the kitchen?" I said, "Yes." So she meets with the ladies that have been cooking, and she says, what do you, to the ladies, "What are you looking for?" "We're looking for a head cook." And she looked like, oh, no one else there wanted to take it. They want to help. And she said, "Yeah, I'll do it."
Wow.
So last year she took the role, and she is amazing.
Our gifts and our talents, I believe
Yeah.
that if we don't use our gifts and talents, we can lose them,
Easily.
easily,
So-
and
I don't know. I look, and I'm like you. I look. And the reason this housing was started, because I lost Joel. He was killed in Iraq. And I don't know if I ever shared that story. The actual day that God called me to do this was, we went to after we buried Joel, July 3rd of 07, we were invited to Fort Hood, Texas, to a memorial, July 19th of 07. So we go down, a family, and we stayed at Mark and Ann Laguerre's house. And the next morning we were escorted by Joel's army buddies, took us over the chapel at Fort Hood, took us up halfway up the aisle on the left hand side, part way, and we looked down and saw all the pictures, including Joel. There were 19 men killed that month. So we're in the chapel, 19 of us families. We had no clue that there was that many soldiers killed that month. So they had just an incredible service. Great, they honored the soldiers to the hilt. And there were 3 other soldiers killed with Joel. So we got to meet some of their family members at a reunion right after. And then the Laguerres invited us over after the memorial service and the big reunion to their house for, they had a catered supper, nice catered supper. And one of the father-in-laws, he was there, he played guitar, and we all talked about our boys. And anyway, that night, the next morning I got up and went in the living room. Mark Laguerre was in there reading the paper about 7 o'clock. And I sat down, we were talking about the war and what had happened, and the tears just flowed down my cheeks. And God called me that day in their living room to help veterans and Gold Star families. And that's where it all started. And ever since then, the passion has just been in my soul, my heart, and it's never left.
Yeah, my wife.
And so that's where it all started.
My wife told me one day, she goes, "You have the most expensive hobby I've ever seen in my life." I'm like, babe, this is not a hobby. This is a mission.
It's a mission.
It's
exactly.
a mission. It's a calling. It's a mission.
It's a mission field.
And she's, and she's had to struggle, the financial struggles that you go through, when you're doing this and you have to do it out of pocket. I mean, money is not.
It doesn't come easy.
Mom used to say, "It doesn't grow on trees."
That's right.
And if it did,
Yeah.
I'm not making
Everyone,
$15 an hour at McDonald's
Right.
on minimum wage now, because
Right.
people don't understand the struggles, personally, what you go through, financially, what you go through, and especially where you had to come through and go through with the loss of Joel to get here.
God has a plan.
Our family loves you, and we support you, and every member of my family,
Appreciate you.
even the ones who haven't met you personally,
Yeah.
like my sisters, they know, and they're like, "Hey, I want to support this, Dad.
Yeah.
What can I do?"
That's
Dad
amazing.
said, "Well, I need to put on these." They'll go work all these gun shows with him.
Yeah.
They'll go work his other concealed carry classes to try to get the people through to raise money to do whatever, so he can come there, see you, And Dad's like, "I was going to do this for your mom. We decided we don't want to do that. We want to donate to Paul."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Absolutely, Dad." And does it bother me, my dad? No, absolutely not, because
Well, it's the same. We have the same mission.
yeah, we did.
You
And
did.
I don't have the bills that you have,
Yeah.
with a facility and how big you're growing and growing and growing. And it's a joy on my part to see where we started from.
Yeah. Oh.
On our first hunt with you
Oh.
in George's place to what you have
Yeah.
now, looking online and seeing all the people and the
Yeah.
smiles, and that the networking that we do, I'm like, okay, I know these people that are TV shows and stuff like that. Who can I talk to try to get,
Yeah.
I'm trying to get Brian Celestin from Beyond Rubicon up here to hunt with us.
Yeah.
He's a retired Marine.
Yeah,
Lieutenant
hopefully he
Colonel.
can make it.
But he's his TV schedule and trying to harvest
it's
during
tough.
elk season.
I
This
don't blame
is
him.
a small elk. This is a baby compared
Right.
to what people shoot. But
Yeah,
I'm proud of
Hey,
my
it's your
elk.
trophy.
It's my
Any
trophy.
animal's a trophy.
Yeah.
I'd take it in a heartbeat.
I'm proud of that. I dropped him with one shot.
Yeah.
Most people shoot 2, 3, 4 times and they're off. My dad and I both killed, but
It's
Brian's hunts are for that. That's his
Yeah.
TV. That's
what
how
he
he makes
does.
his bread and butter.
Yeah.
Is from having to do these hunts. And people think, "Oh, you're on a TV show. You got money." And it costs you $500,000 just to do your show. And
You have to
gotta
pay to
raise
be
those
on the
funds,
show,
yeah.
right? Or
Yeah,
get
exactly.
sponsorship.
Yeah, or get sponsors. Well, sponsors, products. Well, I'll give you some product, but I'm not giving you any money.
Exactly.
Well, that hurts.
Yes, it does.
Those guys, those TV shows, but that would help get the mission out. And Brian, being a vet, loves what I do. He loves
Yeah.
the idea of what you're doing. So, we're trying to eventually get
Collaborate.
together. And if we can't do it for, during a bear season, something, doggone it, we'll have Brian come in here and we'll sit down again and do
Yeah.
this with pigs or
Yeah.
something, or
We'll
he's
figure-
been on our farm before, in South Carolina.
Be a good place to.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, if you can't make it up, we'll pick another time or come down here or whatever.
Yeah.
Make things. And it's and I'm like you, I don't care if I'm on a TV show or not, it's not what it's about,
No.
but, and I've always said this, I'm not a big traveler, but I've always said, if whatever it takes to help veterans in active military, even though I'm uncomfortable with doing it, I'm gonna do it, because God called me to do it, it's that simple. You don't have to be a, brain surgeon to figure it out, you just gotta listen and act on it,
And you don't have to,
you know?
you don't have to be a believer to come and experience
No.
what House and Woods can offer, or what Hunting with a Hero
Yeah.
offers. So I mean,
God uses everybody.
yeah, even if you don't know it,
Right.
He can use you. You know,
He does.
You look at the Bible when all these kings.
Mhm.
You go through.
He
You know,
used
Solomon. Well, he used David, and his sons did this, and they did this, and to bring the people back to where they need to be. Well, he let this other evil person come in and take over and defeat this
Yeah.
army until they came
Yeah.
back to him. Okay, now you're going to beat these people.
Yeah.
So yeah, God uses us to
Yeah.
reach others. So whether you believe in God or not, don't be afraid to reach out and say, "Hey, I'd like to come to your
Yeah.
event."
And it's like you said earlier, and it's not always easy. Yeah, there are challenges all the time, but you get stronger, more, God wiser, I guess.
Yeah.
But not through
Say that word again.
wiser.
Why is it? Hey, you heard the R, folks. You heard the R. The Southernism is coming out
I had to do it for all you people watching.
from the South. We got the R. Now Paul will say y'all.
I don't say that very often, y'all.
There it is. See, you heard it. It's the once, and once in a while,
But wiser.
why is that?
I slip up. Sorry.
Yeah, we've had some good laughs.
Oh, it's
Some
funny. I think it's
amazing-
funny.
So the first hunt, we tell the story. I love that first bear hunt.
Oh, yeah.
We had Joe Gonzalez in there. Joe shoots his. She's like 320 pounds, I think, is what she weighed.
337.
336. She was a tick, man. She
Yeah.
was
Almost
she
as round, almost as wide. She was long.
she was
Big
just.
bowl of jelly.
She was
Yeah.
like this, but she
Yeah.
was only like this long, and
You couldn't handle
no, and we were like, how are we gonna get it? So you came in, and you go, we're looking at this bear, and you come in, and you go, oh, that's a cock. And I'm like,
her.
I thought it was a bear. It looks like a bear to me, Joe. Joe's like, what? He said, that's a cock. And Joe's like, is this legal? I'm like, Paul, is this legal kill? That's a cock. I'm like, Paul, stop. This is a bear, right? Yeah, that's a cock. A what? A cock? What? That means it's a big. That's an exceptional nice bear. And I was like, so this is a bear, right? Yeah, it's a sound. And then we couldn't get her up in the floor. The three of us together, we
she
could not
was
pick her up.
Just like big bowl of jello trying
Yeah,
to
we're
pick
like,
it up.
how are we going to do this? And we're like, hey, let's take the winch and we'll put the winch over here. We'll do it. And so we had the winch going around the trees and over the limbs in
Yeah.
order to
In the
get
back.
and back up and get it to pull like a, so as we backed up, it pulled her up and we could get her
Yeah.
into there. She was so heavy.
Oh, heavy.
And the fact that three of us could not get her
Yeah.
up just to the back of a
Yeah,
side by side. I'm like, man, she was big.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can't. There's nothing to grab to either.
No, and so this
we
sitting
did
down
have
with my
fun.
dad's
We
bear, and
laughed.
that bear walking right
Yeah.
beside me, seeing something that big,
That's
that
a-
close. You,
Fun experience.
it's called a pucker factor. You go, yeah,
What do I do now?
an
Am I
8-pound
gonna
sledgehammer and a needle couldn't drive it. You get tight, Or you go out and you have these fishing stories. We take the guys out fishing
Yeah.
at George's place.
Oh, yeah.
Brian,
Jumping off
the
the
doctor,
dock.
going out catching these smallmouth.
Yeah.
You're like,
Nice.
man, it's cold. Y'all aren't gonna catch anything. Your top water, you can't. And we're using top water, and they're coming from deep
Yeah.
up and hitting it.
Yeah.
And we're like, what? And that video of Brian,
Yeah.
we're fighting it. The
Good
fellas
memories.
jumping off the docks and swimming.
Yeah.
Just taking
Oh,
the boat
yeah.
ride around and fishing around
Yeah.
on that pontoon boat with your
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah. That,
Amazing memories and friendships are built, and it's lifelong. It's not just a, hey, I did this and I'm gone. It's lifelong.
right. Oh, yeah. Friendship.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. And I see it. You see it. And it helps you. You've been in the military. You've traveled. You've gone overseas. And it's hard on your family.
Yeah.
You had to move. Just got back from Korea not too long ago. You were there, what, 2 years?
2 years, yeah.
2
We
years.
were there for 2 years.
And then while your wife had to be over there with the boys, they sent you back to the States, right?
Yeah, we were.
So-
I had to go back. We were there for about 4 or 5 months. Then I had to come back to the state for 5 months. Then I got back within another 2 months. I had to go to Hawaii.
Yeah. By yourself?
By myself, doggone it. You know, and then we came back, and then I had to go to Japan.
Yeah.
You know, it's like one thing after. It's just,
Well, it's stressful on the family.
yeah, you know, and you're gone so much.
And that's people
money.
think we have money. My wife's SUV is a 2015. It's a nice vehicle, runs good. I drive. It was donated by a doctor almost 3 years ago. It's a Toyota Tundra, half ton, 2000. It's got 270 some thousand on it. I drive that. I have my own personal vehicle is a 2005 Toyota Tacoma with 176,000 on it. I have my son Joel's pickup is a 1997.
The green one, right?
Yes, 130 or 40, 140 some thousand, I think. People think we have money through House in the Woods. These are my vehicles.
Yeah.
This is what I have. I don't have a snowplow. We hire a guy with a big front end loader, but I go up there every snowstorm and shovel around that building anywhere from an hour to 2 hours. You know, myself, which I don't mind work, right?
Yeah.
But if I had a snowplow, it'd be that much easier. But I don't, so I just do what I have to do. You know, I don't have a maintenance man. I'm responsible for the building. Anything that happens, make sure all the leases, insurance. Those are the things people don't see. And I'm not complaining. I love doing it 100%.
Is there a way,
But-
you know, because when I hear this and we talk about things like this, you and I, is there a way that, you know, we can get a good note taker involved and she can, she could take notes and she could say, hey, here are the needs at House in the Woods. Do you publish
We're
that?
working on it.
Yeah,
Well,
our needs. Here's what we're in need. We're in need of a snowplow. Some of the,
companies,
you know, if you've got,
a
well,
pickup
even
with a
individuals who say, "Hey, I got a new snowplow. I got to do something with this one."
and a pickup
could-
to put
You could
a big 3/4 ton pickup because
you could donate this snowplow or the attachment system for your side by side that you could at least push with maybe
instead of shoveling around the building.
by hand. You know, you could drive around and have the big blade. Somebody could, hey, I've got an extra one. They could donate that.
Yeah.
And you know, we can do tax write-off letters and stuff like that. You get,
Well-
and you feel good. Look what you've done to help an organization that helps our nation's heroes. There's so many ways that people do that. I don't have funding, but you have a skill, you have a talent. I'll volunteer to come in and do, you know, some maintenance checks for you. Or hey, if you have your AC breaks down, let me know and I will donate the time.
Right.
It's not a financial. It's something that you know how to do with a skill
Right.
set. Or I have this extra piece of equipment. Hey, can I come in with my equipment and plow for you during this deep part?
And we hire a front end loader, which is, he does it really reasonable, $200, but I have to shovel all the way from the building. If you get a 2-foot snowstorm, and
Trust me.
the
I know.
you know,
I know this year. So we could take something like that and
So-
have someone who knows how to take good notes and
Yep.
say.
I've
you
been
know,
trying to
say, hey,
find somebody.
So here's the need the House in the Woods has. Okay, we have this need during the snowstorms. So guess what? Eagle Scouts. Hey, you're looking for an Eagle Scout project. You know, you have to. Here's what I do to earn my Eagle Scout badge, right?
Yep.
I have to do this project. Here's a great project. Come help House in the Woods. Hey, I'm going to do the shoveling during a snowstorm. I'm going to go help with these sites. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Or we're going to do as a community. And you can have so many Eagle Scout badge things that you can do to help an organization and teach how to love people, how to mentor and be.
No, but anyway, I'm not complaining. But as you said, people don't like when you started all the details and your finances and all the phone calls you're going to make arrangements and who's going where, transportation, all those things. That's just part of running. It is a business. That
Yeah.
part of it is a business. But it's just you want to mentor people, and like you said, kids are young adults, and
Yeah, my dad used to say it. And I'm like, I don't understand where you're coming from now that I'm older. You know, I'm like, oh my goodness, my dad was so right. And my son, you know, and it's the different generations. You know, what things I did bug my dad. The things my son does, and the reason it bugs
Yeah.
because I've done it. I've been there. I've done that. My son
Yeah.
said, "Oh, you haven't." I'm like, "Son,
I've made this mistake and that
Yeah.
mistake and this mistake and
You
that
don't want them
mistake.
to go up to repeat.
And I don't want you to go through what I went through to have to learn the hard way. And next thing you know, I did this, you told me you were right. And like, yeah, I told you and I was right. Yeah, that's why I told you.
It's
not to do this
just,
mistake.
they need, like you said, they need to be taught.
And so I think that's a great, venue if we can get, maybe the Boy Scouts or a 4-H club or something to come
Well-
see what you're doing and to come in and
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have
do the
a,
projects for you.
actually a Girl Scouts group, but
See, the girls are out doing the boys. There's a challenge, Boy Scouts.
If I
The
could-
Girl Scouts
yeah.
are beating you.
if I can find that message, someone
I do have
just,
to jump in and say, yesterday we got a message from the Boy Scouts saying they're looking to do some work for us.
I
so,
saw that.
Yeah, I didn't go to it yet, but I saw it pop up, so.
Boom, see there? So it goes back to, hey, if you've got an extra V plow or something that
Right.
that House on the
Yeah,
Woods
yeah.
can hook to the front that they can get around the plow to make that path that he could just drive through and make it happen, please donate it to
Yeah.
House in the Woods,
Yeah,
So there's your challenge. I challenge anyone out there. You don't know me, but as someone who runs an organization like Paul, in the fact that we help others, and you want to learn how can I help, how can I get involved. You don't have it, but you have the financial means. Purchase one, and say, hey,
Oh,
on
yeah.
behalf of our family, we want to donate something to help make
Yeah.
your life easier, to help our heroes out at House in the Woods in
Yeah.
Maine, and donate this. $600-700 maybe for
Yeah.
I don't know what
Whatever
an
it is.
attachment would be.
Oh, that's
You got an
right, yeah.
old one laying around that you've got on Craigslist. Hey, donate that. It's
Yeah.
something they can
something,
use. One man's trash is another
Yeah.
man's treasure.
yeah,
You'd be surprised at how much a gift like that means. So, I
yeah,
challenge
no,
you.
you never know until you put it out there.
So I want to take you and Angie. Are you listening?
She heard you.
Yeah.
She's been wrong.
Are you on them?
What?
Are you on them? Are you on them?
Am I on what?
Are you on them?
The camera.
Are you on them? Do
On
you have them? Do you have them?
cameras?
Are you
Yes,
on?
yes,
Are
I'm
you
on
on,
it.
Paul? Paul, are you on?
Oh, look at me, I was
She's
like
still
here in the
doing it.
headlight.
I thought
was
we
like,
learned
what?
our lesson here. Are you on? Yes, I'm on. What? What? Huh? At least she's answering this time.
I finally got the 3, 2, 1, boom. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to today's production of House in the Woods, Hunting with a Hero and Gorilla Squad TV. The filming will begin momentarily. Please silence all electronic devices at this time. Prepare for the big mist. Thank you. Caution, contents may be unsuitable for young viewers. All right, so we're going to get down here. We're going to drive in probably 300 or 400 yards, lights on low. This field we're coming up to is an old wheat field that he cut this year. I think about 55 bales of hay out of it. But no cattle are allowed in here. I'm the only one who hunts this. So when I take someone out here like you and Angie, y'all will be excited. We'll have to crawl over a blind. We're shooting AR platform, so the safety's here. You just push it like a normal AR. When you push down, it comes up to the fire position. Okay. We won't click them. You use your left hand and ease it up so it doesn't snap, because that'll scare the pigs. You'll both be on brace positions. And you just decide when y'all are ready to shoot. When you're done with, hey, I think I got enough film footage, and Angie's going to be like, I want to shoot the big one. I want to put. There are plenty of big ones out here. We can do two things. We can shoot the two that come up that are kind of scouts. I decide not to, and let more pigs come out, and then you have a choice to shoot some sows instead of those big old stinky bow hogs for some good bacon. So we'll get out here, we'll cross, we'll walk down. I've got it beaten down, so it's going to be a nice, quiet walk. We'll just slip down. We've got the slow glow lights up. If the field is lit up with green when we start getting there, we'll know something's on there. There are about 4 or 5 raccoons that are trying to eat us out of house and home. But you'll definitely know if their hogs are on it, because they're big. They're going to standing up. They're hip high to you, if not a little bit bigger on the big ones. And we have the one we call Cake. He's probably almost 3 feet across. He was just fat. So you'll be shooting the 450 Bushmaster. And it's the round is literally the size of a AA battery, or my finger. It's actually the same length and diameter as my index finger. You'll be shooting Yoso, the Cake Eater, the 350 Legend. Now that is an amazing round. It has 0 recoil. When I say 0, I mean 0. It's like shooting a 5.56. There's nothing there. So it has like a 1/4 inch barrel rise on it. So you'll be able to go pow, 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 pow.
Paul's gonna go boom. What in the world was that?
Thanks. I got all the fun stuff.
Man, you got a monster, but the recoil is not bad. I've got it set
Yeah,
up.
supported too, right?
Yeah. So it dumps a lot of energy out of that muzzle
Yeah.
brake. So that's why I have you on the right. So you're closer to getting that barrel outside of the
Right.
tent. I don't care. I took a guy out here and he shot from inside and burned a hole in the screen. So
Oh,
you can't
yeah.
damage it anymore. So I've got extra screen to replace it with. So if your muzzle brake is over it, don't worry about it. We'll still shoot and still hunt. And I got tons of knives back here for cleaning your game. So if you want to take your back straps with you, you can.
Good
So
deal.
are we ready? Gorilla
We're all
Squad
ready.
and House in the Woods.
Ready to go.
You ready to go hunting with a hero?
In-house and all this.
Yeah. Got our house in the woods. Oh, you can't see up in that end. Yeah. You guys can see it. House in the woods. Let's do this. Let me see. Gorilla Squad all day long, baby. Let's go. Hey, you got hair. What is?
Oh, what happened to yours? Oh. I don't know. You gotta drink some Maine water. I'm losing it though on top.
All right, let's go do
Must have got it
this.
from you. All right.
So we're gonna ease through here. Get up a little bit further and turn the lights out.
This tattered flag I hold in my hand has seen the jungles of Vietnam, and it holds the tear stains in its stripes from every mother whose child paid the ultimate price for freedom. They died for freedom, yeah, freedom. They bled for freedom. This tattered flag I hold in my hand has seen Iraq and Afghanistan. Yeah, the price it was paid by daughters and sons to prove these colors do not run. Oh, freedom. They died for freedom. Yeah, freedom. They bleed for freedom, and they know freedom. It isn't free. It's the price that was paid by those who pledged to bleed for freedom. They died for freedom. Yeah, freedom. They bleed for freedom. As the rest drive around in their Porsches and Jags, our heroes bed down at night in sleeping bags for freedom. They do it for freedom. And the rich people say, go to college, son, 'cause there isn't a future holding a gun. But our heroes who serve, man, they got it right, 'cause there's no way to love and to lay down your life for freedom.